Well, good morning. Forgiveness. Woo. Every day, forgive. Oh, it seems never to end, does it? And what I found is that people, in my experience, that get into New Thought, metaphysics, truth, whatever you want to call it, and find out that we're actually responsible for our thoughts, our actions, our creations, sometimes have a bit of a challenge, because as we take on this responsibility that we are responsible, we say, well, I'm responsible for all this, and I forget to forgive myself about it. I feel so responsible. And when I'm working with people in counseling, I find that so often, because we take on that huge weight of responsibility, of the blame, and then what we can do is we can blame others for us taking on the responsibility, and it just gets really confusing. So hopefully today I'm going to be working in the Course in Miracles and maybe lay some things out and put it together so that we have a real understanding about how we can forgive ourselves completely. So where I'm going to start is I'm going to be jumping around in the course. So that's why I have my little cheat sheet here. And I'm going to start with the lesson of the day. Because the course for some, the course it's rather a difficult book from what I hear from a lot of people, especially reading it on their own. And even when we get into class, it seems that the words are very confusing. So sometimes I have to read them over and over to understand what it's even saying. So what I want to ask you today is, as I do some reading of the words, if you do not understand it or would like it repeated, please ask me to do that. Because if you want it repeated, somebody else will want it repeated. Okay? So today's lesson is, I place the future in the hands of God. Well, that's easy, isn't it? So if I did that, what kind of life would I lead? What kind of prosperity would I have? What kind of health would I have? What kind of freedom would I have? What kind of joy? Robert and I were listening to a webinar the other night with Neil Donald Walsh, who did Conversations with God. And one of the things that he kept talking about is, ask your soul for its agenda. What is my agenda today, my soul? Because if we really believed that we were totally soul beings, which we are, we could place our future in the hands of God so easily. So we are soul beings. We are light beings. Our soul is really in charge and in control, and we are safe and secure. And that was in the 11 days of May. That's what he talked about. We really are. So the first step is to believe that we are. Another step is to ask the soul for the agenda of the day, agenda of the minute, whatever it is. So I'm going to read a couple things from today's lesson in the course. You are but asked to let the future go and place it in God's hands. That's easy to understand. And you will see by your experience that you have laid the past and present in his hands, as well as because the past will punish you no more. And future dread will now be meaningless. And the lesson of the day keeps repeating this in so many different words. What worry can beset the one who gives his future to the loving hands of God? What can he suffer? What can cause him pain or bring experience of loss to him? Who entrusts himself to God has also placed the world within the hands to which he has himself appealed for comfort and security. I'm going to do that one again. Who entrusts himself to God has also placed the world within the hands to which he has himself appealed for comfort and security. He lays aside the sick illusion of the world along with his and offers peace to both. So now we're talking about illusions. The Course goes over and over and over again about illusions. Everything we create is an illusion. Everything we make up is an illusion because it's a story that we made up. How many people do you know that create stories of awesomeness, wonderful things? And how many people do you know that every day have some kind of a trauma? So we can look around and see the illusions that are taking place from our minds. Okay, on page 335. There is nothing you can hold against reality. All that must be forgiven are the illusions you have held against your brothers. Anybody need that again? There is nothing you can hold against reality. So that means anything we see, do, or have, we can't hold anything against what's happening in our life. All that must be forgiven are the illusions you have held against your brothers, the blame. Their reality has no past, and only illusions can be forgiven. Oh, how easy is that? God holds nothing against anyone, for he, capital H, is incapable of illusions of any kind. Mean we can't blame him? Oh. Release your brothers, and I'm going to add in sisters, from the slavery of their illusions by forgiving them for the illusions which you perceive in them. So I'm making an illusion, you're making an illusion, everybody's making illusions, and then we have the judgment against the illusions. Thus will you learn that you have been forgiven, for it is you who offered them illusions. Oh. I gave them illusions. I gave them my illusions. Oh my goodness. Now we're going to go back here. Are we understanding? Are we good? Okay, I'm doing this slowly so that we can intake it. How willing are you to forgive your brother? Ugh. Willing. How much do you desire peace instead of endless strife and misery and pain? The Course gets into, some of the words the Course uses, misery, pain. That's where it turns a lot of people out, and it talks about murder and, all these things. And interesting enough, what's our subconscious full of? What thoughts don't we even know that are going on? Forgiveness is your peace, for herein lies the end of separation and the dream of danger, destruction, sin, and death. This is really important. Okay, everyone ever heard of the word sacrifice? Well, in the past, the word sacrifice is it's kind of a negative word. Doesn't it sound negative about all the things that happened thousands of years ago, and my animal stuff comes up, all kinds of sacrifice, people. So this is the sacrifice. This is what it's saying. This is the sacrifice. Salvation asks, and salvation, according to the Course in Miracles, is liberation from separation. So that means that salvation is a separation from the divine. Okay, so it's the liberation, though, of the separation from the divine. Okay? So if we're taking that, this is the sacrifice. Salvation, which we want, okay, asks and gladly offers peace instead of the misery and pain. So we're here to sacrifice. And our sacrifice is to give up the disconnection that we have had from the divine. That's a pretty cool sacrifice, isn't it? Looking at it from a different place. Want me to go over it again? You have a question? Because it gets a little confusing because we do want to sacrifice. Okay? We want to sacrifice our thinking that we are not connected, thinking that we are disconnected from God, from the universe, from the divine. So that's what we're sacrificing. We're giving up. So sacrificial is giving up something. So let's all give it up. Okay. These are beautiful words. Can you imagine how beautiful those you forgive will look to you? In no fantasy have you ever seen anything so lovely. Nothing you see, hear, sleeping or waking comes near to such loveliness. You know, it's sometimes, I don't know about you, but I've read a lot about near-death experiences and people that have been on the other side and seen the light and how beautiful. It's so beautiful that even their words can't describe how awesome it is. So here it's saying, nothing you see here, sleeping or waking, comes near to such loveliness. That aspect of, it's so lovely, you know, the comprehension of it is just awesome. And nothing will you value like unto this, nor hold so dear. So when we're holding something so dear, a lot of times in our life we go through the process of not forgiving ourselves. And that's what the Course goes back to, totally back to forgiving ourselves. We can forgive everybody and work on the Ho'oponopono and do everything. However, when it really comes back to, it's forgiving ourselves for the illusions, the judgment, the things that we have made up. So can you imagine living in a world of complete loveliness? What would that be to you? Could be excitement. Could be fun. It could be peaceful in so many ways. Nothing that you remember that made your heart seem to sing with joy has ever brought you even a little part of the happiness this sight will bring you. So the Course is saying it's touchable, it's reachable. We can do this. We can all do this. And as Billy talked earlier about her love song, forgiveness, love, it's all the same. It's all the same. It's all the beauty of life. There is a place in you where this world has been forgotten, where no memory of sin and illusion linger still. There's that place we're all looking for, that place that we want to touch into, that place that is not a separation, that place is a connection to the divine, to God, whatever your word is. There's a place in you which time has left. No such thing as time in God's world. So time has actually left this place, and echoes of eternity are heard. Ooh. There's a resting place so still, no sound except a hymn to heaven. Just like our hallelujah, the praise, the hymn to heaven. Beautiful words. Rises up to gladden God the Father and the Son. Where both abide, are they remembered both. And when the Course talks about the Son is us. They remembered both, and where they are is heaven and is peace. Think not that you can change their dwelling place, for your identity abides in them, and where they are forever must you be, must I be in that place. And that's all we have to do. Well, how do we get to that place? Well, it's telling us just forgiveness of ourselves. And how do we do that? Well, Robert's brought the Apanapana in. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. The big thing that Robert will talk about is meditation, quiet time. The quiet time that we need to do the connection. The quiet time. And what I want to do now is, through the years I've done poems at the end of every one of my services. So I put a little poem together for now. And then I'm going to close with one of Louise Hay's affirmation meditations. Okay. Let's see. I didn't know what to name the poem, so I thought, well, forgiveness. What are we talking about? What can we say? Everything depends on the forgiveness we display. Our hopes and our dreams can get clouded with some fog. When we bring resentment and blame, we can get really down and bogged. How willing am I to start to create forgiveness of others? That means never to wait. Forgiveness, what's next that we really might do is to start with forgiving ourselves, the real reason the illusion became true. The important potion is not really to blame, but forgive ourselves so we really don't get totally insane. It's a constant barrage of such unwanted thoughts or of things we have learned and things we've been taught. So trying to let them go can sometimes be useless, but connecting with the divine and will never be fruitless. So if I begin my day with feeling only His love, I know I will have the answer from the angels with Him above. For all I have to ask is my spirit within, and what's my soul's agenda, and then I can begin. So I want to end with Louise Hay and I wrote. She and I write things sometimes if I want to change her words. So she and I wrote this. So if you'll get comfortable again and take all these wonderful things with you today. She always starts with, in the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. It is easier for me to forgive than I thought. Forgiving makes me feel free and light. It is with joy that I learn to love myself more and more. The more resentment I release, the more love I have to express. Changing my thoughts makes me feel really, really good. I am learning to forgive, to make today and every day a pleasure to experience. All is well in my world.